Welcome to the Open Photo Project, the podcast. The Open Photo Project uses photography, audio, and text to present the beautiful, complex lives of consensually non-monogamous people. On this podcast, you will hear the words of people who are in many kinds of relationships under the umbrella of consensual non-monogamy, from polyamory, relationship anarchy, open relationships, solo poly, and more. I'm Erica Capin. I have been photographing and interviewing people for the Open Photo Project since 2015. If you would like to see the photos of people who are in these interviews, you can find them on the openphotoproject.com or all across social media. Many of these interviews were recorded on location, so if you hear a creak or children or a noisy cafe in the background, I hope you can enjoy the ambiance as well as the words and ideas. And please consider supporting this project on Patreon. Becoming a monthly supporter at any level means that you will have access to the full interview downloads, rather than these question excerpts. If you would like to become a supporter, just go to patreon.com. Thank you for listening to the Open Photo Project. What misconceptions do you see in other people bringing towards non-monogamy, or if you could tell people more like this? Okay, let me try to rephrase it. What do you wish society knew about non-monogamous relationships, or what kind of misconceptions would you like to dispel that you have experienced or encountered in the world, if any?
There's a common expectation that it's oh, this is all for sex. Which, sorry, but that would be exhausting.
It's already exhausting.
I think the other misconception I come by a lot is that the only consistent depiction of multiple partners is the Mormons. And so I get a good deal of flack from more feminist-leading friends who don't understand that, I can date who I want, even though I am currently one of multiple female presenting partners for a male partner. That doesn't inherently make it patriarchal or whatever other terms that is. It's still very egalitarian, and I think that's the one that I get most often.
Yeah.
I don't run into too much because, the groups of people that I tend to be around are, they might not fully understand everything, but they're just okay, yeah, you have multiple partners, okay, that's cool. I'm sure there are presumptions that happen, but they're usually not expressed. And the ones that do know more are usually okay, that's cool, because they know exactly what it is, so.
That brings up another interesting one. Because I date across different genders and I date multiple people, there's also this expectation of oh, then you're going to date me too. Yeah. And so explaining that, no, it's not just whoever, and
if you are in front of me,
right,
then we will date.
Yeah. So that is another one I get. I don't know how common that is, but it definitely pops up, and it's hard to explain to someone sometimes because they're a little far removed from bothering to see it from someone else's perspective, that there's still choice in the matter. Mm-hmm. It's not just a free use orgy society.
I mean, that sounds like fun too, but for different reasons. Really, the only time I get that is when my partner likes to wing person for me and tries to be oh, you think that person is cute? Oh, hey, you should go date them. No. Bad. I'm
not
joking.
That bad, but...
I'm joking. I think the one that I've been seeing a lot recently is, but what about the children? And I have found that kids understand it way easier than adults, and also that kids are oblivious. So as long as you're not sitting there making out with a bunch of adults in front of kids, they're going to believe whatever you tell them. So if you say, okay, this is Aunt Sally and her friend Joe and also her friend Margaret, like, they're fine with it. Mm-hmm. Okay, Aunt Sally has a friend Joe and a friend Margaret. It's like a good majority of adults are responsible enough to not have an orgy in front of children. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's not a thing.
And for kids, honestly, things are normal until you make it not normal.
That's true.
Even then, there's a reason there's a saying, it takes a village.
That's true, too.
How much enrichment is it when you have another stable adult within a household? Mm-hmm. And I think we totally discount any of the benefits because at first, shock and awe, like, they're not going to know what normal is. Mm-hmm. But what is normal? Mm-hmm. We don't really know, and it depends on which society you grew up in and which time period. You know, it's wildly different across continents over, just 100 years. Mm-hmm. And
across states even, next door, yeah.
I mean, also, a lot of kids have multiple parents. I mean, like, anytime, like, they have parents who are married, or, like, they might have their birth parents, and they might have, like, their caregiver parents, and it's just, like, kids aren't used to the concept of there being, like, multiple adults involved in them being raised and, like, sort of in their immediate family. Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's not really any different, I feel, like, from their perspective, because they're just like, cool, I get presents from more people on, holidays? Great.
Okay, I can connive ice cream out of this person today.
Instead of like, oh, like, mom said no, let me go ask dad. Oh, let me go ask other mom. Oh,
Well, even then, there's always someone who's there. Mm-hmm. When you talk about latchkey kids whose parents are working well into those evenings, they're much more unlikely to, or children growing up in polyamorous households are much more likely to be sitting there going, who's going to pick me up from school? Or is anybody going to come to my game today? Because someone's going to be there. Mm-hmm. And that isn't always feasible in a two-parent household.
I mean, like, schedules become, like, a lot more likely to overlap with what, can be done to help support kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it's not always guaranteed. Like, what if all the people involved work the night shift? Well, the kids still... But...
So, for reference, none of us have children.
Right.
But in the event, like, in the what-if scenario, just talking about helping kids with homework, I have a degree in Spanish. Sean is a programmer. Willow is
super smart.
I'm actually, like, currently tutoring.
Yeah.
Like, on campus, off campus.
Knows every math ever. Meanwhile, I can count to 10.
I've been teaching as well in college. So.
Exactly. So having all of these people who have all of these different skill sets gives them more opportunities to learn. And children whose brains are sponges up until their early 20s, having more opportunities to learn more things is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And having multiple perspectives on things in life will help also helps teach. I mean, like, there's a whole lot of, like, developmental bonuses from that. But anyway.
Thank you. Okay. Is there any last parting words? Anything you wanted to share that I didn't ask? Any words of wisdom or non-wisdom?
Communicate!
It's a classic one.
Fucking communicate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it sells.
I can't read your mind. I suck sometimes at reading your body language. So if the words do not come out of your mouth, it does not exist for me yet. It only exists in your reality. You have to share that.
Yes. Communicate.
Woo!
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you for listening to the Open Photo Project. And please consider supporting this project on Patreon. Becoming a monthly supporter at any level means that you will have access to the full interview downloads, rather than these question excerpts. If you would like to become a supporter, just go to patreon.com. Thank you for listening to the Open Photo Project.